Now I'm just going to hand over to Tim Dixon, who is going to talk about the 5 easy steps to how to secure a successful video campaign. Tim's head of production at Bespoke Banter.
Thank you, Scott. So yes, I'm Tim Dixon, Head of Development and Production at Bespoke Banter LLP. I'm not going to lie, I did feel a little bit nervous about standing up in front of you all today. So a top tip to kick off with, I deliberately didn't wear my glasses today, so I can't see anything, which is great. You are all there, aren't you? I'm not just talking to an empty room. Okay, so I joined Bespoke Banter last November. And I joined them sort of bringing over a decade's experience in development, production, post-production, commissioning and on-screen presentation roles, working for a plethora of leading independent production companies, digital communications and advertising agencies, and leading network broadcasters. Now, in light of the ongoing synthesis of the broadcast and digital industries, I was drawn to working at Bespoke Banter, excited at the potential to marry these two once very distinct but ever-converging disciplines at a progressive agency which continues daily to pioneer techniques for the production, syndication and optimization of online video content. It's taken inevitable time, but thanks, Scott. It's taken inevitable time, but brands are wising up very fast now to the potential importance and compelling power of online video at the very heart of any integrated marketing strategy or campaign. And your very presence here today pays testament to that fact, but also marks you out as future-facing marketers ready to embrace the transformative technological evolution which the next couple of years will inevitably bring. So sincerely, thank you for joining us today. There's an old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. How true that is, who knows, to be sure. But in the motion picture industry, standard filming and projection formats are generally a minimum of 24 frames per second. So a crude calculation would suggest that just 1 minute of video content is equivalent to 1,440,000 words. Slightly hypothetical, but I think you take the point. Never forget in video, as in life, that knowledge is power. There's absolutely no point in producing video just purely for the sake of it. Video is only ever effective, immersive and engaging when it serves a specific purpose, addressing a clearly identified target audience and adding true value to your brand. Now, of course, opportunities do exist for broad, multi-layered content. But the first question for anybody about to embark on a video marketing campaign should be, what purpose is this video content intended to serve? Now, regular reflection should be taken throughout the creative process and the entire project life cycle, coming back to that same point, ensuring that the content is always addressing that primary objective. Okay, this brings me on very nicely to the purpose of my presentation here today. I'm going to be sharing a handful of insights with you and hopefully giving you 5 simple steps to video marketing success. Before I do that, very briefly, I want to touch upon the broader current climate in media, the media landscape, to set these observations in a little context, but also to explain just why video is so crucial for us all. Consumers have greater choice at present than ever before, with a broader variety of video content available across a diverse array of platforms, computers, mobiles, tablets, and connected television sets. We now live in a world where online video content is quite literally at our fingertips, pretty much virtually any time, anywhere. Now, connected TV is something which fascinates me, and so I'm going to talk to you very briefly about that. Just a quick show of hands, and don't be ashamed if you don't know. How many of you here know what a connected TV set is? Okay, so maybe 5 or so. That's great. If I was to ask you that same question in about a year's time, I think the show of hands would be very different. I think it was 5. I can't see, as I said. Maybe you all do already know. But the inevitable mass uptake of connected television is literally just around the corner. But when Apple released their long-awaited disruptive connected television set, and very soon they will, the implications for all of our professional industries and broader lives are going to be phenomenal. And this impact should be underestimated at our collective peril. Now, whilst Apple's connected television set won't be the first device of its kind, let's not forget that the iPhone wasn't the first ever smartphone, but it ushered in an entirely different way for us to think about and use mobile, dramatically altering our behaviour. Now, for those of you that don't know, just to address the point, a connected television set in very basic terms is a TV set that enables you to access the internet through your TV. Now, the worlds of broadcast media and online video content are inextricably linked. And what we're witnessing is the ongoing convergence of media, marketing and advertising, which will only accelerate in the age of connected television. The entire TV ecosystem will rapidly shift from programme makers to the marketers that rely on TV to sell products, to the ad agencies that sell its media. Now, as Abby Clarkson recently questioned in Advertising Age, is TV ready for its iPhone moment? It's a great question, and I'll leave that one hanging in the air. Now, very soon the playing field between traditional broadcast media and online video is going to be levelled, with both being readily available through the device which is undisputably the hero product of the home. With online video overheads costing a fraction of broadcast rates, this presents traditional broadcasters with untold challenges. But fantastically, it presents brands and PRs with an incredibly exciting opportunity. We all need to be prepared, and thankfully, I'm going to tell you precisely how. So 5 simple steps to video marketing success. Point 1, content is king. Now, we meet clients every week looking to build their own creative episodic content. Scott touched on this earlier on. Journalists with a mass following looking to engage and grow that audience through compelling video content. I'm guessing that's why most of you are here today. Now, the same rules apply in both instances, thankfully. Viewing habits are radically changing, and time is precious. You know, we all live busy lives. Whilst there will always be a market for longer escapist entertainment, when it comes to brand-focused online video campaigns, high quality, carefully crafted, distilled and informative short-form content is king. Put simply, cut to the chase. Video should be front-loaded with top talent, opinion formers and compelling, informative content within the very first few seconds. Engage your audience from the outset, addressing them directly. And Newby touched on that very nicely earlier on. You need to empower and enlighten your audience wherever possible with practical takeout. This could be a top tip or advice from a recognised industry expert, giving brands the opportunity to become respected authorities in their own right. This not only makes video more compelling, but heightens the shelf life of that content and maximises shareability. Now, from a brand perspective, this increases the market footprint and translates directly into tangible ROI. Tangible, since online video is far more trackable than traditional broadcast media, meaning campaign success can be carefully monitored and in turn optimised. We'll talk to you a bit more about that a little later on. Now, Bespoke Banter offer the invaluable service of broadcast distribution and tracking, able to report precisely where your video has been placed, how long it has been played for, and how many people have engaged with that content. We'll get onto that in due course. Such short-form content allows busy consumers greater flexibility to graze and curate their own editorial path, empowering audiences with maximum control. In real terms, we recently worked with a leading beauty retailer to produce educational, product-centric video content comprising product category overviews, along with top tips for individual products application. Now, by serving consumers a large volume of this bite-sized content, individuals can regulate their own ultimate engagement, viewing only those short-form edits that are applicable to them. In this way, no two user journeys are ever alike. And this, of course, means that consumers can only home in on those short-form edits which are tailored towards their individual needs and requirements. Videos can, of course, be loaded with hooks or teasers to drive traffic from one video to another, optimising dwell time and engagement. So moving on, that's point 1. Point 2 is creative brand positioning. We would like all of you to think innovatively and creatively around the promotion and portrayal of your brand. Now, it doesn't need to look like an advert. I can't stress that enough. Video content is incredibly effective in harmonising your broader PR aspirations, but it can also be the perfect tool to challenge your audience or alter their perception of your brand. Handled carefully, video gives PRs enormous power, so use it wisely. At Bespoke Banter, we recently worked with a well-known skincare brand whose products contain exclusively natural ingredients. Now, rather than filming a scientist in a sterile laboratory environment, we brought the brand to life and filmed the entire team as they gave their own time to give a primary school's nature garden in Hampstead a much-needed makeover. Corporate structure was thrown aside for the day as MD, junior assistants and accounts department alike worked tirelessly hand in hand, painting, digging, planting and turfing. This heartwarming production had genuine social value and used a powerful creative device to engender brand loyalty. Now, here's one further example, which I should stress that we didn't personally produce, but we all felt was extremely powerful. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm a forensic artist. Worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm gonna ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm gonna ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter, sadder too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.
Now, I've one welling up here, so if you are too, we do have a box of Kleenex we can distribute, so put your hands up. But on a serious note, what a powerful piece of video, and, not overtly brand focused, just a subtle reference there at the end, and we all felt that was a very clever piece of video content. Moving swiftly on, we've got a lot to get through today. Point 3, life and personality. Now, by this I mean basically bringing life and personality to your brand. I mean tone of voice, and I mean two-way conversations. While superficially similar, this point is subtly distinct from the last. Video presents PRs with a chance to establish or evolve quite literally a brand's tone of voice when engaging with consumers. Social media in general can present opportunities to shrug off corporate niceties in favour of a more conversational, direct and real open line of communication, demystifying stuffy one-way corporate identity and replacing this with an opportunity for open, rapid discourse. A compelling video proposition seeded through social platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and Vine offers consumers the opportunity to comment and indulge their right to reply. Now, this might initially sound quite a daunting prospect to some brand guardians, but two-way conversation empowers consumers and is an essential, if not inevitable, evolution in our connected transmedia world. Time to manage such two-way conversations must, of course, be resourced against accordingly. And if handled correctly, can prove invaluable in building an engaged, passionate, and commercially valuable audience. Point 4. Collaborate wisely. Now, it's absolutely essential to collaborate with the best production partners. The right experts and crew will make all the difference, ensuring the highest production values are maintained, setting your brand apart from the endless deluge of mediocre online content that's out there. Producing crafted, standout content is a real skill, and it's a false economy to think that a DIY approach will look anything other than, quite frankly, just that. Whilst it isn't something that we would advocate, if you are going to recruit freelancers and try and manage the creative process yourself, then be sure to choose very, very wisely. At Bespoke Banter, our team will come from a television production background and bring that high-end pedigree to online propositions. We're agile in the manner in which we work, happy to creatively develop campaigns from the smallest kernel of an idea, taking all that stress and workload away. After all, we do ultimately know what works. We've been doing it a long time. Or to work collaboratively from the most prescriptive brief into the most exacting, discerning standards. Now, we only use the very best broadcast equipment, from lights, cameras and lenses, to jibs, tracks and steadicams. We know endless techniques to make the very best of your budget. For example, shooting in 4K. 4K is 4 times the definition of standard HD, and your productions will end up with not only that high-end cinematic feel, but stills can be taken directly from the video content. Very useful because it negates the need for a separate stills photographer. So just one small example there. Here's an example of a very recent project in which our expertise worked harmoniously with those of PZ Cousins and House PR to showcase the unveiling of Kate Moss as the brand new face of Saint-Tropez. Enjoy.
Welcome to my Saint-Tropez shoot.
We were collaborating with the amazing Kate Moss, and she's going to be the face and the body of the brand.
Saint-Tropez is a trustworthy brand, people know it, and it's a natural looking tan. That's what people want, they don't want something orange. And it is really easy to apply yourself. When I've got a tan, it's definitely helps with your confidence. You just feel better. You look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look quite healthy. I feel terrible, but I look great. Saint-Tropez do it so well now that it do look natural. You don't have to have that fear about it going streaky and not being able to get it off. I love everything about summer. Can't wait for summer to come. I love hanging out in my garden and not having to put layers and layers of clothes on and swimming in the sea. I'm never naked without Saint-Tropez.
Okay, and the final point, moving on to point 5, make it count. Okay, so what happens next? You've produced a polished, beautifully crafted piece of video content which perfectly echoes your broader brand key priorities. But what happens next? What do you do with it? Where do you place it? How do you ensure that it's seen by the correct and the largest possible audience? This is where technology and video search engine optimization are absolutely key. And to talk to you further about that very topic, I'd like to introduce co-founder of Bespoke Banter, Sam Orams. Thank you very much for your time.